But another thing, speaking about like if talking to people that understand, I'm telling, I can't remember even what family member. I'm talking to somebody super close to me, and I'm telling him like, yeah, and it's like the very first time I like got anxiety and like was kind of coping with it and understanding the whole process. And I was telling somebody that I have anxiety, and I was like, yeah, I'm just scared to go out and stuff. Like, oh, shut up. You've been on stages in front of thousands of people. You've done
No.
this. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like,
No.
I know that they're good-hearted because,
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
But they absolutely do not have anxiety. And I know because nobody would say that to somebody. Like, of course I've been on stages. Of course I've been dance videos. Of course I've traveled, like, all over, like, on crazy places. Like, I would walk through, like, 3 a.m. in New York City streets without any doubt in mind. No stress. Now I'd be like, oh, my God, I'm going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Like, like, I would drive myself crazy, but I would just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was just so in the moment. But no, like that is just not, it was me.
Yeah.
It was me, and that response was the first time that kind of like made me already scared because it's like, wow, I know this person's already like so many others, at least on the top surface, that it's like, oh man, a lot of these people are going to have anxiety they won't understand.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I know there's somebody in my family, and I just haven't even had the chance to talk to everybody in my family about this subject to kind of get more information, kind of make me maybe a little bit more comfortable when I go to these family events. But it's like, I mean, I have a cousin that I've grown my whole life, and every time I'm around her now, I'm just like, I want her to like think good of me, and like because every time we have a conversation, it's always weird.
That's the
because
pressure.
That's the pressure. It's like I don't want my anxiety to take over this conversation, but I'm being so weird, and so next time I see her, I'm like, I'm gonna be better, and I'm like, hi,
and then you
how's
think
the
ahead.
business? How you doing? And I'm like asking everybody, I'm like, do you think like they like you? Like, duh, it's your cousin. Like, of course they like you, and I'm just like, oh, okay, and I'm just like, it drives me crazy.
And it's crazy because it's your perception of yourself. So it's really, I will say it's not as bad as you think. I mean, yeah, maybe they'll notice you're a little bit off, but it's crazy what we think about ourselves. And like you said, I think that was a big part for me too, is getting back. All of a sudden I was like, I have this pressure of being around people that have been around me for a long time. And what if they look at me differently and they don't like who I've become?
Right.
So definitely it is scary.
I totally understand, like 100%. It's just,
yeah,
it's scary. Just the whole conversation about anxiety, and there's skepticism, there's thoughts about it. People would say they understand, but it's like it really just takes someone that also has anxiety, and it's just like, I feel like there's just a difference, like, not to change complete subjects or even say some, but like when it comes to like something about suicide, and somebody that just like, oh, don't kill yourself, like your grandpa, like, oh, don't kill yourself, you should be fine, just tough through it or something, but like, that line of like, you're not alone, what doesn't mean as much until you're like somebody that's actually has anxiety and would sit there and be like, or anxiety, may be suicidal or have depression, and be like, yo, you are not alone because I have that, I feel that, I have all those feelings, and then now you're suddenly not alone and you understand. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I was actually, hopefully I can find it here. There's
what do you got?
Where is it? I've been listening to a lot of life coaches and podcasts lately to help with my mental health. And I've learned some really awesome things. Like I said, I really believe that like you think, which is asking yourself and answering questions every day. And it really is the pattern of that causes so many different struggles. But going to what you were saying about suicide, it's important to know that you can, whether it's anxiety, depression, you can ask someone questions about it. And I know it's
literally
awkward.
Are not alone.
It's not super, like, it's not comfortable.
Dude, it takes one person that truly understands to help everything, bro. Like,
definitely.
I told you, I tried to talk. I had a little bit of conversation, but it was until you got back, my best friend, my best man coming to my wedding, it took you coming back for me to be like, I have anxiety, bro, and this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking, and for you to be like, dude, I'm feeling the exact same way.
Yeah.
And once I knew you felt, or at least had those similar symptoms and thoughts and thinking, it totally changed me. In fact, I think it empowered me. It's like, oh man, like I don't feel alone now, and I feel like a lot more positive. And there's like been a lot more things, I think lately at least, that I've been out and I'm like, I feel really good, and I love my fiance like with every inch of my heart because
I
I'll be
know.
out, and I'll like look towards her, and I'm like, babe, like I feel really good, and we'll be out in a crowd or at the mall or something, and I'm like, I feel really good, and she's like, honey, like that's awesome because she understands, she sees
That is
me, she
so cool.
knows the anxiety I have and things like that when I go out. So when I'm actually out and about, and I'm like, babe, like I genuinely feel great. I feel happy. I feel calm. I feel present. She knows how much that means to me, and being out. And so it's like it's just having somebody that we haven't even talked about the anxiety that she may have or things like that. But the fact that she may or may not understand, but she can that she knows me and that understands that when I am doing good, she can give me that validation. Like, babe, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Keep being you. And she's taking notes to help me along this journey. Like, babe, this is what you were doing that kept you going. Maybe you can, when we're out and about, maybe we can try this and this and this, try to keep that positive thinking
That
and
is
attitude going.
awesome. I love her.
I love that woman. Shout
I'm
out,
glad.
fiance. Let's get married here in like a month.
Oh,
In a couple
no,
months.
that's soon.
Yeah.
You changed the date.
Soon.
Yeah, like, and it's just, it's hard for people who are going through it to open up. I'm glad that you're able to do that, but because you know what she's like, you know she cares.
Exactly.
But sometimes it takes you asking someone, and it's okay to do that. Like, let me say that again. It is okay to ask someone, do you struggle with anxiety? Do you struggle with depression? Because then they're like, they are interested, and I'm not just venting and making them feel uncomfortable or wasting their time.
Dude, if you come with them with a vulnerable attitude, I feel like anybody will be open to talk to you.
Yep.
But I mean, I love all my family and friends, and I wasn't as vulnerable to like for them to really understand like how bad like it was for me.
Yeah.
So that might have been a while they're like, oh, like you'll be fine kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, it took real people that have these issues that like it took 1, 2, 3 people to finally ask. But when I finally got to somebody that had the similar symptoms, had the similar thinking, that had the similar problems, it helped so much because I can finally get out like it's so, like I said, it's so hard to explain, but I can say one sentence to you and you're just like, bro, like you mean this, and I'm like, that is literally on the dot.
Yep.
Like that is literally exactly how I'm feeling, bro. Like, how do you go? Tell me your secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like you said, sometimes people don't handle it the best, and that's understandable, because even me, who goes through things like that, I'm like, wow, I really don't know how to handle that. I don't know what to say. But like I said, that's why it's okay to know you can ask questions, because I'd rather have someone go, how does that work? Like, what causes you to feel anxious, instead of going, no, you're fine. And I get it, because on the outside we seem so normal. Like, people always tell me that I'm so calm and so happy. Like you said, they always see us as these happy positive
energetic
people.
Yeah.
And like, I had one guy tell me, he was like, on the outside you look like you have it all. You have like all these things going for you. And then I told him, I was like, the funny thing is, I'm one of the most self-critical people ever.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't see it. But then I explained it to him, and how my thought process was, and he was like, okay, that absolutely makes sense.
Right.
And he was like, it's actually really cool to know that somebody who has your look is as imperfect as you're saying.
Exactly. Imperfect. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah. I didn't even mean that. But there was something that I did want to read. I came across it listening to a podcast. They read it. And it's so important to understand.
Right.
And it goes along with depression. And it says, this is a quote by David Foster Wallace. I'm not sure who he is, but he's a cool guy. He says, the so-called psychotically depressed person who tries to kill herself doesn't do so out of, quote, hopelessness, or any abstract conviction that life's assets and debits do not square, and surely not because death seems suddenly appealing. The person in whom its invisible agony reaches a certain undurable level will kill herself the same way a trapped person will eventually jump from a window of a burning high-rise. Make no mistake about people who leap from burning windows. Their terror of falling from a great height is still just as great as it would be for you or me standing speculatively, I think that's the word, at, these some big words, at the same window, just checking out the window. The fear of falling remains a constant. The variable here is the other terror, the fire's flames. When the fire gets close enough, falling to death becomes a slightly less terrible of two terrors. It's not desiring to fall, it's terror of the flames. And yet nobody down on the sidewalk looking up and yelling, don't, and hang on, can understand the jump. Not really. You'd have to have personally been trapped and felt flames to really understand a terror way beyond falling.
Bro, that's literally what we're talking about, bro.
Exactly.
That is literally on the ball, bro. Talk to somebody that has been in that trapped room, bro.
Yep.
You know, like they will understand. They will know your thinking. They will know how to help. Like me and you we're both young. You know what I'm saying? Like we're both young and learning this life. But if we talk to somebody that's in their 30s or 40s, maybe we one day with somebody that does have severe anxiety. And then I bet that person will have so many great things to tell us that we have yet to learn yet or just are conscious of.
Yep.
That we can fix. But right now we're just two
Absolutely.
younglings trying to go through this massive effort.
The younglings.
You know?
Yeah.
The younglings.
And
you
like,
know?
I just think that's really important to understand because the subject of suicide is sensitive, but it's also a lot of people are like, I just don't get it, or they had everything going for them. Why would they do that? Or wow, suicide's just
I know.
You know, there's all kinds of stigmas and it makes sense, but really it's not about the appeal of death. It's wanting relief.
Yeah.
100%. And that's how it is with anxiety, with depression, with stress of debt, whatever it is, you want relief.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like the only way, because I remember like when I got back, that was the first time I really understood it, because the first 2 weeks I was sitting there going, I feel
Empty.
disinterested. I feel empty.
Okay.
I feel directionless, and I feel numb to things. And I was so worried about my family not feeling like I was interested in them or that I loved them, that I was like, maybe it's just like, I don't want to keep going like this because I owe people more and I want to be more. And so it was just a really good experience. And I think it's important for people to understand that, because it's not like I was like, I just want to die. It was like, I just don't want to live feeling so disconnected from things.
Exactly.
But talking about it was what got me through that. Talking to people.
I feel like, yeah, definitely whoever you are, it definitely is different reasons. And